Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Ripto. I'm Christian and in today's awesome video we're going to be talking about the crypto advertising in the Super Bowl, and did it do what every YouTuber and a lot of people were saying the hype was going to do, and that is pump with the halftime ad. Well, if you remember with a couple of the videos we've done and what we've done in the social media, we said that we don't think that the ads will do an immediate change to the absolute crypto market, because Bitcoin is in a place at the moment where the institutional investors are not trying to pump it. And the retail investors are all drained out and they're not buying and not selling because there's too much fear and greed in the market. So what will the actual adverts or the commercials or whatever you call them, wherever you're from, going to do in the halftime? Well, they are good for crypto in the long run, because obviously we've seen big news that there's a UK football club with Manchester United doing Tezos. There's lots of other advertising coming on. There's the big Super Bowl. But we're going to look into why we don't think the Super Bowl had this massive effect on the crypto market, and what it is that's keeping the crypto market and the Bitcoin price suppressed at the moment. So if you want to find out more, crypto market is not pumping because of the Super Bowl, stay tuned and let's get into it. So before I get into this awesome video, I have to say anything that you see, hear or choose to ignore is not financial advice. Now, I want to keep this video absolutely on the button, pure informational and to the T. So I'm going to jump straight into the coin market cap to show you what's happened on the back of the crypto advertisement and the Super Bowl halftime. We all know. Boom. So as you can see, the crypto market is actually down 1.03% overall. And you can see in the last 24 hours that there's absolutely nothing. In fact, the biggest movements have been to the downside with the 2s, the 4s and the 5s. And Crypto.com, which was one of the major players, is actually down 7.35%. And there's a few others, but for me, it's just a sea of red. Now, this comes as no surprise because the whole crypto market is not dropping, but it is actually stalling and going sideways in, for me, what's called a capitalization phase. And the retail money has drained, they ran out, they're not putting any money into it at the moment because of the fear in the market. And the institutional investors are also very fearful and getting rid of their riskier assets at the moment, because obviously the high interest rates market, then, which you want to know to be this kind of weak and suppressed. Well, let's jump into what I've just put on the whiteboard here, saying here's an overview of why I think the market is wonky at the moment. And that's one, because obviously the rise in interest rates, which we know about. Two, the supply chain issues. Obviously, there's a lot of issues at the moment. Also, on top of that, which I've not put in here, there's a big news at the moment with, if you have a look at the news, there's a lot of scams, hacks and stuff going on. It's just a general kind of stagnant, stalled momentum in the market. And obviously, three, there's multiple contractions in the tech stocks. So what that means is the actual stock market is not doing too well. Now, it doesn't matter about the whole stock market because crypto seems to be doing a lot better than that. Normally, it sort of tags along and goes alongside it. But this time, we've seen the first signs that the crypto market just edge a little bit better than the actual S&P 500. And that might be because obviously traders are not making great money over there. So they're having to sort of not panic, but, you know, take a little bit more of a riskier option and come into the crypto market. But they're not coming in all guns blazing. They're coming in more to dip their toe in the water to see what they can do. So for me, obviously there's other issues which I've highlighted here. There's the issue with Ukraine. There's obviously the fear and greed in the market. But I feel these, looking at the news, looking at what the big investors are saying, what some institutional people are saying, I think these are the biggest three that are keeping the market suppressed. But what does that mean? You know, I'd love to come on here and tell you there's about 50 altcoins that I want to go into, but let me tell you what it means in actual trading charts. So as you can see, I always follow the charts, and I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than not, because you can see here I've had this buy box in and sell box in for a while now. Anyone that's following the channel would have seen this. And obviously you can see I've got trade orders in around about this area here. Unfortunately for me, on the 12th and again this morning, it just missed kicking me into my trade, but I was edging down to see that if it dips in here, this is where my buy order kicks in, and my take profits are all the way up here in my sell box. But obviously once it hits this levels here, if Bitcoin does go up, I will watch it, monitor it very closely. So for me, obviously it just missed. When I got the news, obviously I had to think, okay, well, maybe we should wait a little bit rather than go in, because I don't change my trading strategy. Like I tell everyone on here, stick to your plan, stick to your strategy. If I've missed this little pump, which I'm looking for a 10% pump up here, you can see to about here, I've missed it, and it doesn't really matter, you know, there'll always be another one. But let me tell you about the actual Bitcoin market. So you see the line here is holding on support absolutely perfectly about this proper consolidation capitalization phase, and this support here was what was previously resistance here before we had that big nasty dirty rat of a dip down all the way back in January after the December pump. Now this to me is more bullish, and I'll tell you why. Is because we have the main key area before we had a massive move has now been turned into support rather than it being resistance as it was all the way down here, and that to me is a bullish sign. But what we're seeing is here, we're seeing the 50-day moving average flatten out and become a big resistance to that, and it's just took a nice bounce on this key level here that it's been consolidating against, and we could be seeing a bit of momentum to the upside. But for me, I think Bitcoin's going to be boring for the next few days. And how long do I think? Well, if we're judging by when we had a big move dip, which was here, then we had this big move here, and also when we had the last big move, I think we could be looking at anywhere from the next 3 to 4 to even up to 6 days, and maybe even just over a week. So what it is you have to look for is that Bitcoin does not break this support area here. It holds strong. You can see in my chart here, I've got the 19th of February where I'm going to see a bit more momentum and movement. This is at the end of my buy box zone. So if it doesn't move by then and come into the buy box zone, I'll look to readjust the platform and the situation. But for me, there's just a lot more key areas that we need to look at. So we need to make sure that if Bitcoin does stay above there, we need to see really a full daily close above this 50-day moving average, which we've not seen yet. Now, if we just go to the daily market and see here, we can see Bitcoin's coming down. It's been in a decline and downtrend for the last 4 days. Bitcoin confirmed that, because as you can see here, we went into the downtrend and it's just coming back up, the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. So we need to see Bitcoin confirm this as support here, take a bounce, and then move on to the upside. But at the moment, we're still seeing Bitcoin in a 4-day downward spiral. All the others follow suit. If you look at Ethereum stuff, they all follow suit of the Bitcoin price chart, and it's perfectly matching this 200-day moving average as support here. It's broken out of this upward channel, which we expected it to do. It got rejected at the 50-day moving average. It's using the 200-day moving average as classic support, which is what you'd expect people to do in the market. So for me, Ethereum's just going to follow Bitcoin. So if you just follow Bitcoin closely, and your other alts should follow it pretty much. Now, you're going to have some questions, so leave a comment below if you want to know why I'm looking at this and why I've got these areas here. But if you think what I was looking at and how I was trying to plan my trade out, everything other than just maybe being off the mark by 5 pips, planned out to an absolute perfect kind of scenario for me, and that was a 4-day in the planning. Yes, I did miss out by a few pips, but to me it doesn't matter. That's just, to me, is just as good, because it's telling me that my strategy, the way I'm reading the market and the way I'm looking at the market is absolutely bang on. And you would know yourself, I mean, facts are facts, stats are stats. You watch a lot of YouTube, you know that everyone was super bullish on the crypto having a pump. Just type in crypto pump on YouTube, you'll see hundreds of videos on it. But for me, I don't go on the hype and the BS. I look at the stats, facts and charts, and I edged against it, and I just missed out. But moving forward, what we're going to do is we're going to look at look at over the next couple of days. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to see where, if it finds its support here. Then we're going to look at the good alts to get into. There's going to be some alts that recover really quick from this bounce. There's some that are really cheap at the moment. For me, you've got HTR that always has a massive bounce. If that manages to get back down to these levels here of the 60 cent mark, that could have a massive bounce, come all the way back up to the 90 and give you 98 and give you almost nearly a 40% increase, which would be massive. And like I said, if anyone's watching my trading videos, you'll see that yes, you can see these 100x altcoins and you could shoot to the moon and you don't look at fundamentals and stuff, and they're good to have, but they're lottery picks. They're literally gambling on lottery picks. You want to get in them early and hold them, it's good. And we will be doing a video on long-term holds. But at the moment, with the market volatility and the way it's been at the moment, we just need to keep our portfolios above water. We're trying to steady this storm and come out at the end of what's called a perfect storm in crypto, being the front runners and the front sailing boats that are going to sail off into the much nicer, clearer waters. And the way we're doing this is we're taking every between 10 and 40-50% pumps that we can, just by playing the support and resistance. So that's where the crypto market is at the moment. It's a boring. I'm expecting a bit more sideways action. Like I said, we're going to front run this around the 18th and 19th of February, just by looking at how many days it got suppressed here and here, and how many days it's normally been suppressed down here. And I can't see this being any difference. But if you didn't fall for that Super Bowl hype, well done to you. Literally, do give yourself a pat on the back in a virtual R5, because a lot of people have. And I've seen a lot on the social media saying the Super Bowl was a hype, the Super Bowl was crap, Super Bowl was this, that, and another, because they were betting a lot of edges on there. And also, quickly on the end of this, I know I waffled on a bit, but the NFT market is looking like it's taking a bit of a downturn as well. They are more riskier investments than crypto, in my opinion, and people are pulling away out of them, because for me, NFTs are 60% retail money, 20% hype money. For me, the 60% of the retail have gassed out of the NFTs, and you can start seeing only the top marketed 100 to 200k marketed NFTs are doing anywhere near as good now. Whereas before, not that many months ago, you could literally just do a photo of anything, your cat, your dog, do 10,000 of them and literally sell them. Now people want to know what they're getting in return. They want to know if they're earning like staked earned NFTs, or if they are, the utility on them is going to give them some money back. So it's everywhere across the board. People are getting more savvy and smart in crypto and NFTs. So this is the time where we're going to have to earn a crust, earn a buck, and really start trading smart and safe. But again, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. I've given you the information why I think the market is being suppressed. And obviously, if, like I say, don't always fall for the hype. The hype is there sometimes to trick you. It is good, like I say, that these companies are putting a lot of money into advertising and they are looking for crypto to stay long term, but that doesn't mean that we should fall for the hype, the FOMO in the short term. Back to the Super Bowl, glad you didn't fall for the hype. I hope you did. If you did, I'm sorry, but as always, like we say here on Crypto Ripto, trade smart, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.